Hi, this is Julie. I am testing out a feet up yoga video for practice in 300-hour teacher training as well as home use. Positioning your feet up headstander on your mat, finding a comfortable seat sitting on top of it, drawing the soles of the feet together, spreading the knees apart, placing the palms facing upward in a Supta Baddha Konasana variation. Thinking about extending long through the crown of the head while grounding the sits bones down into the mat. Place one hand on your back, one hand on your stomach, and find your breath. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. Creating some constriction at the top of the throat. Taking an inhale breath, taking the hands high up overhead, finding a stretch along the neck, dropping the right hand down to the left ear, maybe using the left hand and find a deeper stretch. Keeping the chin lifted off the chest, look forward. On your inhale breath, hands reach high. On your out breath, drawing your left ear towards your left shoulder. The right hand can collect the side of the feet up to give you more stability. Getting through the spine. And then on your inhale, reach your hands high up overhead. Place your hands behind your sits bones. Begin to lift up through the arch, taking a neck stretch, opening up through the throat. And then in your exhale, tucking your chin into your chest. Inhale, opening your arms wide. Exhale, tucking the elbows in, pull inward. Inhale, lift the heart up. Squeeze through the rib cage. Think about connecting a barrel drum together. Inhale, open the elbows. Dropping the hands behind the sits bones, taking some neck rolls here. Finding the breath with the movement, and then beginning to extend the feet forward, letting your hands shift onto the wooden slats. Finding a reverse plank. Gentle movements as we begin. Shift the weight back, forward. Try flexing, pointing the toes. Maybe taking up some more space. And then giving the triceps a little bit to warm up with. Dropping the sits bones down, letting it hover over the bar, and then press down into the feet up, lifting the hips away. Bringing the weight forward, come onto the tiptoes, finding a toe stand. Squeeze through the inner thighs. Think about drawing the heels and the ankles together. Hands can come to prayer. Press the heels into the mat. Stand. Taking a deep inhale breath, stretch the hands high up overhead, Tadasana. On your exhale, cactus arm back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus twist to the right. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, hands high up overhead, making some circles with the shoulders, warming up through the shoulders, making these large, breathing in, breathing out. Exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, lengthen, reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen, flat spine. Exhale, fold. Spider crawl the fingers forward, taking a modified downward facing dog. Lifting up through the hips and then lowering the body halfway down. Keeping the tailbone tucked under, and then lift the hips high, downward dog. Opening the feet a little bit wider, shifting the weight side to side. Noticing how the body feels different in this downward facing dog. This very modified version where the hands are much higher than the ground. Making those organic movements, and then walking the fingers forward, coming back to forward fold. On your inhale breath, reach nice and high. Exhale, flow through again, back bend. Inhale, twist to the right. Exhale, reach up. Twisting to the left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. One more time, walking the fingers forward. Come back to downward facing dog. Keeping the tailbone lower than what's shown. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, down dog. Walk the fingers back, finding forward fold. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring it down. Reverse swan dive up to stand, find Tadasana. Exhale, take a back bend. Inhale, come nice and high. Find your twist. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, twist. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, lengthen. Exhale, fold, walk it forward. Finding the hands on your feet up. Lower down. Inhale, press back. Lower down again. Inhale, press back up. Lowering one more time. Inhale, press back up. Send the hips high, downward facing dog. On your inhale breath, right leg lifts. Come high up onto those tiptoes. Noticing how, again, this feels different than a three-legged dog typically does. Making sure your hands are gripping nice and tight, but not holding too much tension through the shoulders. Draw your right knee to your right elbow. Modify. Inhale to the left elbow. Inhale, shoot it back. Exhale, knee to nose, round and curl. Lower the knee, let it hover. Inhale, pull it up, send it back through three-legged dog. Placing the foot down, setting up a lunge pose, using the feet up as an assist here. Square the hips, drawing the left hip forward, right hip back. Inhale, breath brings you up, crescent lunge. Settle into crescent lunge, roll the shoulders down the back, feeling not committed to any sort of prop. Tapping the hands on the shoulders, taking a twist over to the right. Bending through that left knee to allow the spine to stack. Inhale, come back to crescent. Hands draw into prayer, find a crescent lunge twist. Pressing the palms together, see if you can draw the heart through the hands, anchoring onto that knee. Fingers come down to press in. Exhale, lower halfway. Drop to the knees, lower a little bit more, and then send your chest upward facing. So modified upward facing dog. Hands come down behind the heels. Modified reverse camel, lifting the heart up. Drop the hips to the heels. Walk the hands forward. Send the hips up. Downward facing dog. Inhaling the left leg high. On your inhale breath, lift and higher. On your exhale breath, draw your knee to your shoulder. Bring it in. Lift the knee nice and tight. Inhale, reach it back up. Exhale, knee to right shoulder. Inhale up. Placing the foot down between where the hands would be on the ground, letting the knee hover, pulling it up. This time stepping it through, preparing for crescent lunge. Same adjustment to the hips. This time right hip glides forward. Fingers reach tall, crescent lunge. Shoulders melt down the spine. Activate through the fingers, tapping the shoulders, taking that twist. Inhale, come forward. Hands draw into prayer. And then lunge twist, hands at heart center. Again, pressing through the palms, anchoring the elbow on the knee. Inhale, bring yourself back up. Exhale, hands come down. Step your left foot back. Downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, halfway. Inhale, back up. Knees to the mat. Lower the chest. Lift it up and through. Modify. And then walking the fingers back behind the heels. Reverse camel. Lifting up through the pelvic floor. Dropping the hips down to the heels. And then take modified child's pose. Just noticing how child's pose feels different. Really lengthening out through those arms. Walking the hands over now to the right side of the feet up to take child's pose variation. So stretching through the side body and then walking the fingers over to the left, separating, and then stacking the left hand on top of the right, seeing if you can drop the right shoulder down, looking underneath the left armpit. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. Taking a couple breaths, noticing how the body is feeling different from when you started. Slowly walk the feet forward, coming into a forward fold, nice flat spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Padahastasana, hands to feet pose. Pressing the weight into the heels, begin to slip the fingers underneath the feet, walking the big toes all the way up to the top of the wrist crease, and then wiggling the toes, giving the wrists, the carpals, a massage. On your inhale breath, lengthen through the crown of the head, let it drop down towards the ground. On the exhale breath, drawing the hips up towards the ceiling. On every inhale breath, see if you can come lighter through the head. On every exhale breath, see if you can fold. Taking the hands back up onto the feet up, rise up onto those tiptoes, and then walk the feet back, find downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg high, drawing the knee in, hold and squeeze. Inhale, send it back. Drawing the knee in, twist to the left elbow, send it back. Knee to elbow, send it back. Go ahead and step the foot through, setting up a lunge pose, dropping the head down into the feet up, drawing the body up into a handstand position. In the headstand position, slowly spiral the legs, finding Garudasana, eagle wrap of the legs. Tucking the toes behind the calf, and then find some twists here. So taking the knees over to the right elbow, inhale them back up, and then over to the left elbow, inhale, bring them back up. Going a couple more times, using your breath, controlling the movements, trying to stabilize the body. Challenge the balance by drawing the right arm out to the side, and then regain your composure as you unbind your legs. Take a deep inhale breath. Exhale, bringing the feet all the way out to the side. Inhale up. Then exhale, pike the feet down, maybe tapping the toes on the ground. And then press yourself back to a variation of forward fold. Let the breath be still. Inhale, rise the arms high up overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center. Breathe. Sweep the hands high up overhead, finding our flow. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the right, cactus the arms. Inhale up. Exhale, twist to the left, cactus the arms. Inhale, arms reach wide. Exhale, swan dive, melt it down, chin into the chest. Inhale, glide up, halfway, flat spine. Plant the hands, step the feet back, downward facing dog. On your inhale breath, lifting the left leg high, taking that same twist, left knee goes to the right elbow, cross under the body. Inhale it up, working on tightening the core, prepping for that upcoming eagle. Inhale, exhale, pull it through. One more time, inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale, place the foot down, using this as your base, dropping the head in, and then beginning to lift the legs back up. Drawing the belly button in towards the spine, engaging through the core, finding the alignment stack over hips, and then when you're ready, spiral the legs, this time twisting the opposite leg, wrapping the toes behind the calf, and then taking those twists, this time starting with the right side, going to the left, and in the inhale breath, lift up. On the exhale breath, squeeze and compress, pull everything in. One more each side. Inhale, legs up, finding the release of the twist, taking the arm out to the side for that balance challenge. Opening up the legs, finding a straddle, maybe the toes come down to hover here. Legs come back up overhead, piking the feet down towards the ground. And then tapping the toes on the mat, pressing forward fold. On your inhale breath, lift and lengthen. Exhale breath, let it out. Hands rise all the way up to stand. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive, bring it down. Inhale, half lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Dropping the hips back, find Utkatasana, chair pose. Squeeze through the inner thighs, weight becomes heavy in the heels and in the ball, peel the toes. Taking the hands to the elbows, taking that twist. Twisting the elbows out to the side. Inhale, hands come nice and high. Exhale, prayer twist, drawing the hands in through heart center, sinking the hips nice and low. Drawing the left elbow around the right knee, anchor and lock. And then take the eye gaze up over the right shoulder. Checking in with the left kneecap, making sure it's aligning with the right. And then inhale, drawing the body to center. On your exhale, right elbow wraps the left knee. Point the elbows up towards the ceiling. Inhale, hands come back through heart center. Exhale, forward fold. Walking the feet a little bit wider, taking another variation of Padahastasana. So now the feet are separated, the hands slip underneath. Shift the weight side to side, and then really let the head and neck relax, taking all the wrinkles out of the back of the neck. Pressing weight down into the big toe, really massaging through those wrists. Taking the hands to the back of the neck, and then just sway. Taking the feet a little bit closer together and wrapping peace fingers around your right big toe with your right hand. Explore taking your leg out to the side, really activating the left outer thigh. Pressing down into that left foot, using your left hand to provide balance. Switch when your breath is ready. Lifting the left leg out, gluing the right hand and foot. Placing the hands down on the ground. Shift the weight side to side, back and front, and then tuck down into a little ball pose. Reposition your feet up to use it as an assist. So the tops of the shins sit on top of the bar, the heels sit down, the sits bone sits down on the heel, the toes are tucked, and the hands can just rest. See if you can release tension through the shoulders. Take a couple breaths. Moving into Malasana, adjusting the feet up so that the knees can spread apart now, and then reaching the hands forward so the tops of the hands just rest on the cushion. Drawing the heels together, pressing down into the big toe mount of the foot. Close the knees, drop them down to the ground, press up and back, walk back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg high. Draw the knee into the nose, step it through, lunge pose. Taking a breath, making sure you have enough space to open up, crescent lunge. Full breath here, sink the hips. On your next breath, warrior two, spreading the arms. Keeping that lunge in the front knee, just letting the foot be centered between the feet up. We'll take an inhale breath. Exhale, lower down. Think of your arms as wings and lifting your leg just a little bit. Inhale as you rise up. And then reach the fingers forward, finding Trikonasana. Bent leg triangle, bending down through that right knee, pressing the forearm into the inner thigh or resting it. Moving from here, shift the feet up forward so that you can take half moon. Half moon can be using the feet up just as an assist. So it's a nice position for where a block might typically be. Making sure you're opening up that left hip, stacking it on top, spreading the fingers up, and then pressing energy out through the crown of the head and through the heel in opposition. Maybe going to Champasana, sugarcane, taking the left hand, collecting onto the foot, and then working for that quadricep stretch. Bringing it back through, and then coming into an assisted warrior three. So taking your hands on down for support, finding that nice flat spine. See about pulling the belly button into the spine more than what I'm doing. And then now taking it into the revolve. The hand comes down to assist, the right hand comes to the hip. Begin to spiral the chest out towards the side, and then look for the stack of the shoulders. Keep activating through the heel, pressing into the wall behind you. Noticing where the weight is bearing on your standing leg, and then spiral your body back, warrior two. Reverse your warrior, and then exhale, cartwheel the hands down and around. Finding a star pose, pivot the feet, take your hands to prayer, and then spread them out. On your exhale, fold the body in half, coming all the way down. So wide-legged forward fold. Collect the sides of the feet with the hands. You can always modify this by grabbing onto the calves. Chin tucks into the chest. Fold and breathe. Work to a place where you're challenged, bending the elbows, let the biceps draw your chest closer between the inner thighs. Taking one more breath here. On your next inhale breath, arms reach out, slowly draw the body high up overhead, palms touch overhead. Shorten the stance about 2 to 3 feet and then pivot to face the front. With your palms up overhead, standing separate leg, forehead to me, Dandayamana, Bipaktapada, Janushirasana. Once the forehead and the knee connect, maybe take a bend so that that connection can remain. Always an option to take the hands to prayer if you're feeling strong and supported. Make sure the back heel is grounded down into the mat. Chin tucks heavily into the chest and then reach your hands to the feet up. So a variation of pyramid here. Stepping the feet up a little bit closer and then slide your leg up and through, finding some hops. So your left leg is down on the ground, your right leg is reaching up. Be very mindful of how high your ceilings are. Being 5'2" has its advantages right here. Taking a couple hops, lifting up onto the toes. Take a full breath in. On your exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, come nice and high, finding the flow. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a breath. One more full breath here. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, scoop them up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, swan dive, bring it down. Inhale, half lift and lengthen. Exhale, walk the hands forward. Modified downward facing dog. Lowering the chest halfway, drop to the knees. Sit back on the heels and then take reverse camel, pressing down into the fingertips, lifting the hips away from the ground. Walking the fingers forward, finding your modified downward facing dog. And then a forward fold. Step the feet back and then inhale your left leg high. Left knee draws into the chest, step it through. Set up your lunge. As you know, we're headed to crescent and then to warrior two, so adjust the feet up as necessary. Inhale when you're ready, crescent lunge, arms reach high, roll the shoulders down and back, bending as graciously as you need to in that right knee to find a nice stack of the joints. Warrior two on your next breath. Eye gaze over the fingertips. Breathe here. Subtle movement. So inhale, float up. Exhale, lower down. Imagine there was just a soft breeze in the arms. Take an inhale breath as you reach for Trikonasana. Fingers point like a 12 hand and a 6 hand of a clock. On your inhale breath, come back, warrior two. On your exhale breath, find your assist for half moon pose, stepping the hand up towards the feet up, reaching your back leg towards the back wall, spreading your chest. Eye gaze goes up to your raised fingers. And then taking your hands down, so you're leveling out the hips, finding square hips for a modified warrior three or Tulandasana, reaching through the crown of the head. And then finding the revolve, so the right hand comes down, left hand, left hip, still flexing through the back heel, and then finding that nice stack. Look for that rotation through the chest, through the rib cage. One more breath as the hand comes down. Spiral the body back, warrior two. As you exhale, reach your fingers back. And now warrior two. Toe heel your feet together so the feet become parallel. Inhale the hands high up overhead. Exhale, wide arm forward fold. Letting your arms float up and down just as I did in Warrior Two. Finding some softness, reminding the shoulders to relax. Reach the fingers forward. And then on your exhale, pull them back. Inhale, extend them forward. Exhale, draw them back. Couple more breaths just like this. And then fingers come down to the ground. Option for headstand, you can go to the feet up or you can practice this just down on the mat. Letting your the crown of the head touch the ground. And then float the feet up towards the sky. Exploring different variations, the pikes, the straddle of the legs, maybe the twist, the eagle wrap. Returning to wide-legged forward fold. Arms out. Inhale your hands high up overhead. And then finding that separate leg, forehead to knee. So finding a deep bend in the knee. Letting the forehead and the knee connect. Finding that constriction through the breath. Walking the fingers forward, adjusting the feet up as necessary. And then rising up into those toes, taking a couple hops. Noticing how this extra 18 inches feels very exhilarating. Really starts to raise the heart rate. Notice where the fear sets in. On your inhale breath, rise up to stand. Exhale, back bend, let it out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, high. Exhale, twist. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold, bring it down. Inhale, half lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Walking the feet up so it comes into the center of the mat. And then with control, walk yourself up so you're standing on the wooden slats. Once your feet are on the slats, we're going to take a forward fold, elevated, so finding some space. So the equivalent of if you were seated and you were placing a block, trying to walk your hands down the supporting legs, seeing if the gravity, the different position allows you to find more stretch. Take a couple breaths here. Lowering your sits bones down, walking your feet out. And then walking your feet past so you can take reverse plank again. And then pressing the heel into the ground, lift the alternate leg up. Controlling the movements, maybe slowing the movement or making the movement smaller. Keep activating through the arms. And then walking the feet back in. Hands come to heart center. Take a moment to recapture the breath. Forward fold. Hands come back to the feet up, placing the feet on the step. And then exploring crow pose. Noticing how, again, this change in height changes the posture. Can you press the knees into the back of the triceps? See about squeezing the toes together, maybe trying to lift the legs simultaneously. Taking a child's pose here. And finding yourself in a seat. Reaching the hands high up overhead for a seated spinal twist. Ardha Mastanasana variation. Connecting your hands onto something you can take a grip with. Inhale, twist the other way. Exhale as you gaze back behind your shoulder. As a lot of classes tend to end with plow pose. Plow is a posture that is very uncomfortable on my neck. So seeing what it feels like to maybe roll your shoulders back, maybe explore holding onto your feet. Maybe not. Bringing yourself up into another headstand, then letting your feet come down. And then lowering down onto your back for a final Shavasana. Finding a restful position where you can be still. I really enjoy constructive rest, so taking the feet mats distance apart and drawing the knees together. Resting here for as long as you wish. Thank you so much for trying out my feet up video. It's been an honor to guide you. From the bottom of my heart to yours, namaste.